full sales process here. So I'm going to jump over here to Miro and just walk through a little bit more visual diagrams so you guys get a feel for what does the full sales process look like. Again, lead comes in and they book a discovery call. I like to have an initial call touch point with the client prospect, I should say, before we get a proposal, but it's mainly for qualification, not wasting time, just making sure that we're both on the same page about what's about to go down, because the last thing that we want to do is spend a lot of time or effort on a proposal for somebody that's completely unqualified. I never, ever, ever, ever send a proposal without having at least one phone call with somebody. So they book that. I'll go in and I will look at the inside of my calendar. It pulls through all of the questions that they filled out. I'll take a quick look at their website. I'll look at their budget, and then I will determine if I want to show up for that call or cancel it. And when I cancel it, I'll send them a nice email saying, hey, like we're not really a good fit, check out the China Club. So the discovery call is to qualify the lead, build rapport and energy. Energy is important. Get people excited. Get them feeling like you're a good fit for them, that you have a solution to their problems. It's important too to get verbal interest, right? Because we don't want to go through the process without verbal interest. And you always want to schedule the follow-up on this call. We don't want to be doing it over email. Hey, when are you available? Tuesday at 12. Oh, I just booked. That's like one of my pet peeves in life. Get it booked on the call. Pull up your calendar, pull up their calendar, get it booked for the follow-up, right? That is if they are qualified for this. So if they're not qualified, you just add them, leave them an active campaign, move it as like deal not qualified, and they'll get future emails and maybe they'll qualify in the future. So the analysis, we go through and we do our scorecard analysis, traffic projection, put in some solutions. It's a pretty lengthy document. So then on the analysis call, this is the most important call, right? This is an hour, sometimes can go an hour and a half, depending on how many questions that they have. But we go through, we review the analysis with them in detail. We present everything. I stop for questions. I make sure that they're on the same page. I make sure that they're really feeling the value and the expertise. And then I'll present the recommendations, AKA our service and solutions, and I'll get a buy-in on price there, right? So I'll tell them what the price is. It doesn't have to be exact, but you should know what it is at this point too. And then you want to get verbal buy-in there, right? And then I'll usually ask them like, hey, do you have time? We're going to put together a scope of work. Do you have 15 minutes on Friday to go through it with me just to make sure we're on the same page? The more calls you can have with them, the better. You don't have to have a call. If they're like, I'm in at that point, then you don't have to have that call. You can just send them the scope of work. So again, if they're qualified, leave an active campaign. If yes, you can send email check-ins in between calls, let them know you're working on it and you're looking forward to it. So the proposal is very simply just a Word document, everything that's included in terms of your service. This is really important because you want to get on the same page about, hey, this is what you're getting, exactly what you're getting, and then a very simple kind of like timeline matrix of when they're getting it, and then the pricing associated on a monthly basis, billing terms, all that stuff goes in there as well. And then again, this is kind of an optional thing here, the pitch call, but to go through in detail the solution in terms of what's included. A lot of our lawyer clients just kind of glaze over, so I don't do this too much. But if they have like an internal marketing team, it's important because they want to know the details of what they're getting. Also, this is when we start getting into like the close of this as well. These on Loom, sometimes case by case as well. I'll run them through. If they give me like a very excited verbal yes on the analysis call, then I'll sometimes just send them a Loom running them through it, being like, hey, like, let me know when you want to start. You always want to ask for an expected decision date. This is important because this is when you can start getting more aggressive with the close, right? Questions about closing is usually around, how many emails do I send? How often do I send them? If you don't have an expected decision date, then it makes it harder to hold them accountable. So you want to say, hey, can you give me a decision by next Wednesday? That's a week from now. Okay, sure. Now you have something to hold them accountable. Now, on and after that date, you can follow them pretty aggressively. You can text them, you can call them, you can email them, because you've got a verbally agreed upon date that they can expect the decision by, right? So that's when the close, starts to get a little more aggressive, is that you've run them through this whole process. Now you're holding them accountable, right? That's really what the follow-up and the close comes down to. So that's the entire agency sales process. Hey, Ryan here. Hope you liked that video. If you want more, check out these two videos right here on the screen.